Hi, I'm in the greenhouse at home and you can see that yesterday the thermometer went up to nearly 90 degrees and today it's only just above 50. We didn't have a freeze, thank heavens, but you can see that in February the temperatures can seesaw, and even though all the doors and windows were open yesterday, we reached 90 degrees and it's only 50 now. And I'm not rushing to sow anything too much, and only things that are kind of cold hardy. So in February I planted these celeriac. I'll just turn these around for you. So a few weeks ago I sowed some celeriac and some celery because they take a long time to grow. Now normally I do sow my celeriac very early, and the reason is that they take a very long growing period, but because we've had such wet and cold weather, I've kind of postponed my sowing a bit. In the back there we've got some get it right, it's coriander. So some coriander that I started to germinate at home indoors, and it sprung up so quickly, at least some of it did. It was too warm with not enough light, so it's got a bit leggy. But that's not going to be a problem because when I plant it out, I'll plant it deep. But I brought it out into the cool weather and light weather to stop it growing so quick. And then in here we have a whole array of onions, some summer leeks, some shallots, and these are all cold hardy, so even when the temperatures are going up and down, these will be fine outside. I've also put in some fennel, some bulb fennel, and these like the cool weather as well. These are what I call my cool hardy plants. Once the summer begins, they'll run to seed. I put in some flower seeds and some brassicas. These are some red Russian kale. A few more onions or shallots. What are these ones? Sturon. These are onions, seed onions. Some very sad peas that will probably be discarded. Some spring onions down there. Some more spring onions just germinating, so we've got a succession of things. Some red ones and also some more summer leeks. A few more brassicas that can go in for some early brassicas. Some of them are red cabbages and kales and some cauliflowers. Our first sowing of spinach, and they're looking really nice. I think a few more weeks and they'll be able to go out. The summer onions you saw me planting in a previous video, they're getting very green, and I shall start putting those outside because I don't want them really to get too much green growth on them. And I'll swing around, and there's some more shallots here. These are some vegetables I've been overwintering and that we've been picking for salads. So they're pak choys, lamb's lettuce, some more pak choy. And where it's empty here, I'm going to put in some lettuce for some cut and come again. Some more pak choy. And the greenhouse does need a very good tidy up. In the back here we've got some chervil, and this is tarragon that I bought the other day, some French tarragon. You can't grow tarragon from seed, you have to grow it by plant. Russian tarragon you can grow from seed, but it's really not the same thing, at least not for me. And ours got hit in the cold weather. And then some podding peas that will go out next week, and I shall put these under some fleece Some more flower seeds that have germinated very quickly in the warm weather. Some brassicas that are beginning to bulk up a little bit and get ready. So there's a variety of things like broccolis, cauliflowers, and some cabbages. Some lettuces that are looking good, and they'll go out in a while. Not quite yet. I think we'll just see how the weather settles. Some more lettuces there. A few more peas. Some sweet peas that I put in about 2 or 3 weeks ago, actually. No, must be about 4 weeks ago. Some flower seeds, antirrhinums, and various other things down there that will be going out fairly shortly. It's very tempting to get seed packets out and get sowing. I know that lots of people have sown tomatoes and things like that, but I'm just slowing down. Normally I sow my seeds very early, but I think I've resisted, partly because the soil has been so wet. It's going to take a while first to dry out and then to warm up. And then we had that very cold frost snow that would have it damaged quite a few of the crops that were already on the allotment. I know that a lot of people got a lot of damage to things like broad beans, etc. So I've actually held back, even though I've got the itchiest fingers going. I really do want to get sowing some seeds, but I don't think I'll be doing myself or the plants any favours by doing that. But it is near the end of February, coming into March next week, so I am actually going to start sowing a few more seeds now, and I'll take you indoors to show you which seeds I'm going to kick off with. So today I'm going to sow some beetroot, some bolt hardy beetroot. I'm only going to sow these today because these are they're much more resistant to bolting, and you can start them a lot earlier. The other varieties of beetroot I'm going to leave for another week or so and then sow them. And some spinaches. Spinaches are another cool weather plant, and I've got one tray in the greenhouse already, and I'm going to do some of these seeds. And this one here, I've never grown this one before, and it's supposed to be fairly bolt hardy, so I'm trialling that. But I know the Swamish and the red kitten will be fine, and I shall enjoy eating those in salads and in curries. I'm going to grow some more, or sow some more of these cabbages, because my last sowing didn't come up, and we're very partial to these in coleslaws and things. So I'm going to sow a few more of those today. Some radishes I'm going to pop in, a variety of radishes, red, white. They look really beautiful when they're all cut up and in salad. And these have been a bit of a revelation. These white icicle radishes, they're really, really nice. And what we've also discovered is roasting radishes. Before I hardly ate any radishes because I always found them too hot and peppery, but we've taken to roasting them. It's a new kind of trendy thing, and we thought, oh, we'll give it a go, and we really, really like it. So we're going to start growing a variety of them for eating in salads and roasting. I'm going to pop a few turnips in. The one on the left is a French variety, and it's really delicious, and we picked up the seeds when we were in France. And some more, also these other round white ones, and we've got some snowballs, I think, some seeds that I'm going to try and dig out and pop in as well. I'm going to also sow a few of these tomatoes. Sungold we grow every year and we absolutely adore it. And these new honeycomb tomatoes are supposed to be as good as Sungold, but they don't split. So we're going to give them a trial. And I'm only growing these because these will be going into the greenhouse and not being grown outside where most of our tomatoes are grown. I'm holding off growing or sowing my tomatoes until about mid-March, just because they get a bit pot bound before you're sure that the weather is going to be warm enough for them to survive outside. I'm going to grow a variety of lettuce seeds now. I've already got some in the greenhouse that will be going out, and these will be some of the ones that will be our second sowing and going in for picking off as leaves or leaving as whole heads. I'm going to grow some cos seeds as well, some green cos, when I can find the seed. So they're going to be all of the lettuces. We're going to have a nice small pinch of these varieties. So I'm going to add these two green lettuces to the mix as well. So a cos and a web. They're both lovely, crispy, crunchy lettuces, and they'll complement the ready green ones that I'm going to be sowing. So I've got a range of containers that I'm going to be sowing my seeds in today. I absolutely love these polystyrene ones, but they do break very easily, and so much so that I've now taken to putting them into these trays when you're picking them up, because as soon as you pick them up, you can see on the corner they break off, and they're not cheap and they're quite hard to get your hands on. I like them because they have a very large hole in the bottom. So they come with one of these, and it also comes with a plastic top as well, a clear plastic top. But when you fill the cells up, you then compress this down on top of the compost, and it makes indentations in the compost, so you can just pop your seeds in and then top the tray up. Also, when the seeds are grown, you put this way up, and you can pop the seed tray on top like that, and it lifts all the little seedlings off. So they are good. I like them a lot. They're not very durable unless you make sure that nobody picks them up without being in the tray. And sometimes you're taking them out of the tray because you're planting. So they do fall apart. That's a negative side of them. But they're great in terms of a system for growing. But they're also hard to get hold of now. Now, these containers, I'm moving over to these from all the other plastic trays because they're very, very robust and hardy. These come from Containerwise, and this is a new tray that Containerwise have brought out. It's slightly smaller, but with a lot of these smaller cells, the holes are really, really small at the bottom, and you cannot get the seeds out. It's a real pain without damaging them. So Containerwise with Charles Dowding have formulated this new seed trays, which they're only just out, so I haven't used them yet other than to sow some seeds in. So I haven't used them in terms of knowing how to get them out the trays and trying and testing them, but they look great and I'm looking forward to it. And if they're successful, I'll be moving over to these sorts of trays as well. So that's all the seeds planted up now, and so that's all the sowing of seeds done for today. I will be sowing some more seeds in the next couple of weeks, and hopefully the temperatures, particularly in the evenings, might start to warm up a bit more. So don't be too hasty to sow your vegetables. You've got plenty of time and things will catch up. So I hope you've enjoyed the content of this video. If you have, give me a thumbs up. Please have any comments or questions in the box below. I'm Teresa, the London Organic Grower. Thank you for joining me for this video, and I hope to see you for the next one.